Hi, welcome to Soul Food Ministries and Outreach. I'm Henriette Hobson. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to No More Jim Crow Ministry here and all the other ministries that we do here because we are a ministry. My life is a ministry. We have the gardening ministry, the power tool ministry, the whatever, the craft ministry. Everything that we do is ministry here because we want to encourage, lift up, bring closer to Christ, make Christ alive and aware in your life by what it is that he gives me to speak about and come across to you with. Well, I mentioned on the other video that I, just ran over 30 minutes. I try to keep it at 30 minutes. But we went on a little bit of a short vacation. I didn't do what I wanted to do, but I still had a great time. Things didn't go exactly as I would have planned, but I had a great time. The Lord really did bless. And we went up north to the on the East Coast. Timing was off because most of the trees had turned already, and a big windstorm had come through and blown the leaves off of a lot of the trees. And so that was what I really wanted to do. Didn't get a chance to go all the way up to New England, to Mackinac Island, and different places that I had in my plan in my heart, but I had a wonderful time. Saw some beautiful things and met some wonderful, beautiful people as we went along. We were right days into the before the election and the day of the election, and still people I am telling you, beautiful, beautiful folks that I met. And hey, people that I met. Now, we went up to New York, okay, to this is pretty, anyway, went to Niagara Falls. Right now, just kind of relieving me where it was. And the falls was absolutely beautiful. And where the falls were, the trees were still in vibrant color. Gorgeous place. And right before we were supposed to leave, which we didn't leave for at least about 3 days or so more after, my husband busted his knee, ruptured a tendon or something in his knee. And so, the enemy really wanted to, throw a monkey wrench in the plans. But, the God is so good. So good. We soldiered on anyway. Okay. I drove the whole week, like 8 to 10 hours a day, 6 to 10 hours a day, I should say. And God just miraculously, supernaturally touched my body. Hadn't done that in years. But, God just blessed. I'm telling you, I just love him so much. And we got, like I said, to Niagara Falls. And we met this this family, actually. It was a family. And we took pictures with them, hugged them, it was just fantastic. And exchanged numbers that we will stay connected and going to meet again. It was beautiful. They were Christian people that love God. The falls were spectacular. Now, my husband planned all this because I said I wanted to go to Niagara Falls, but my main, focus was to go up New England, Maine and Connecticut and what have you, and really see. We hit the tips of Pennsylvania. We went through Pennsylvania, actually, but the tips of New England, all that. So we ended up walking through the, area of the falls. Was just absolutely just gorgeous. Leaves were all over the ground as well as some still on the trees. Color was everywhere. The falls were roaring. It was beautiful. There's parking when you go to see the falls from, New York there. And so you have to pay to get into park. Somewhere in the neighborhood of, I'm just going to guess here because I don't remember right off. I don't have pictures or anything in front of me. Something like they have like this senior gold pass or whatever but that's for, I think, locals. But it's like $16 or something like that to park. I just say have between $16 and $20 for parking to get into park to get to the falls. And then you walk down this area that they have with all the trees and everything. And then you get down and down, right to the falls. Just a few feet of rock between you and the falls. Absolutely gorgeous. So we walked that and talked to people and helped take other people's pictures, and they helped take ours. It was just some of the sweetest connections with people. It might have been a few people that didn't want to turn around and speak to us or something. But overall, everyone was smiling and speaking. And so it asked you, picture, and all that. So then we crossed over to Canada, to Ontario, Canada, and went to the falls over there. God just opened up doors and blessed. We got to the hotel that my husband had said, that's going to be, whatever. And the computer had shut down, all reservations, nobody knew, everything was just shut down. So he went in and secured the reservation. Valet, the doctor that he went to, we forgot to ask. He should have, being a professional, offered it, knew we were leaving to go on a trip. Of handicap parking, because he had just had a cortisone shot in his knee and what have you. But anyway, God opened up the doors. We got half off, been able to have valet parking, half price. And I mean, it was just, God just opened up the doors and blessed. We ended up with a suite, and the suite was huge. And they walked right off the view of the falls on both sides, from the American side and the falls of the Canada side. Never seen anything quite like it in my life. Between that and the Grand Canyon, I don't know which one is the most beautiful. It just fabulous. So we lay down and went to sleep to the Niagara Falls and woke up to the Niagara Falls. Then we ate lunch by Niagara Falls. I mean, it was spectacular, beautiful. Be careful when you go, if you're traveling by car, whatever, and when you are going to get gas at a not name known station. They tried to scam us and charge our card a couple of times. My credit card picked up on it, and so that's how we knew what happened. But God was just good. He was there and he worked it out. So that was just, I can't over express the beauty and the just fabulous view that we had. All of the trees, just the boats going through the waters, the falls and all. I mean, all of that. We was right smack dab in the middle of it. Then night came. And the falls are lit. First of all, this big, it's like a geyser that's coming up from the falls of, water that looks like smoke, looks like a cloud, looks like a geyser coming up almost. And then they light it up at night. There's just no words. Then there's a huge Ferris wheel that's sitting in the distance, in the view, that's lit as well, among all the lights of the other hotels and the, restaurants or whatever that's going on down below. We were up high, I forget the floor we were on. Amazing, beautiful. Left, went to Boston, went to the Boston Pier, my husband wanted to see that. Let me tell you something about going to Boston. Boston are these little tiny streets that they are parked on both sides, cars on both sides. I mean, it's really literally just enough room to get a car through one of those streets. And they're hilly. It was no fun trying to drive and maneuver our way through. Even with the GPS, we had a hard time trying to find things and what have you. So and then you kind of piece it together about seeing when snow is dumped on them like it is, why they can't get out and they're paralyzed there. Because there's no room for the snow plows to get through, or just barely enough. So I know people's cars are, torn up, because of these snow plows and what. I mean, the streets are so narrow, and it's, such a situation that they don't have regular yellow big school buses like they do here. They have vans, shorter vans that has a big sign on it that says school bus, because you can't get those big school buses through those streets. Totally different culture. What we experienced was, it was folly, the whole thing, but enjoyed it. Ended up on the pier eating dinner. I won't recommend the restaurant for the simple fact that the hostess was wonderful. We exchanged numbers and everything. She was just the dearest little sweetheart ever. Got a lobster roll. Had been waiting to get the New England, lobster, all that. Got a lobster roll that they skimped on the lobster. It tastes good, and you know what? At that point I was very tired, and I was just wanting to eat. Wanted clam chowder, something warm in me, because temperatures had dropped by the time we got there. And we were exhausted from driving around trying to find certain restaurants. And then we ended up at this one because it was just closer. It was on the pier and what have you. Sun was going down. We didn't want to be in the midst of trying to find our way in the dark with all that. So we ended up there. They cheated me out of the lobster and the lobster roll, but it didn't even matter. I just was like, just want to eat something and get somewhere and get a hotel. Because we were really just flying by the seat of our pants on this trip, because you don't know because I don't know where I'm going to be at what time. You don't know what's going to happen. So I just kind of don't even worry about trying to do reservations. They charge for the reservation because you don't make it, and so forth and so on, because you don't know what's going on. There's a lot of infrastructure going on to repair, and so all of that can throw you off. So anyway, God just always blessed. We always end up with a nice hotel. So we were just really tired, and so we were just gonna get out of there, so we would have to drive through all this stuff again. And the Lord had me to look up, and I said to my husband, I said, "What is that? Is that what hotel is that?" And it was this big, huge hotel. And it had this big sign on it that said Encore. Well, it was the Encore Casino, yada, yada, yada. this big gold, beautiful, place. So he said, I don't know, let's go. So I drove over there. The trees were lit. This is the way it looks all the time. With their trees are lit, not just for Christmas. Fabulous place, luxurious hotel, casino, spa. Unbelievably beautiful. Husband went in, got our room, and if I sat and waited, we have the extra tall van. It wouldn't fit in the parking lot. So he's got this busted knee. It would have to be parked across the street in a different lot. And God really worked it out that they escorted us by limo. We followed them over to park it, got our luggage out. I mean, just blessed us. VIP treatment. It was just awesome. Doesn't happen all the time, but it sure did happen for me that day. And he's driving this beautiful Escalade, the handsome driver, And so he, takes our luggage. We get in, seat us in, take us back to the hotel after we lock up our van and, secure it and all. And we walk in that room and takes our breath away. The thing is so beautiful and so huge. We had a upgraded suite up on the whatever floor. Absolutely fabulous. I mean, it almost felt too big. I was just, because it was, my house is a good size, but this was just not something I was used to as in a quote hotel usually. Absolutely gorgeous, just gorgeous. So that worked out well. But I'm going to give you guys a tip here. I'm in the room, we had some clam chowder left over and what have you. So my husband he still wanted to finish off the clam chowder. So we got in the room. I was so exhausted. I didn't care anything about any food or anything else. And there was no room. For one thing, you couldn't even see the refrigerator. There was no microwave. I couldn't find it. And in there was a refrigerator, but it was hidden in the dresser. Okay, the dresser drawer looked like regular drawers, but it opened up like a door. But in it was stocked. Okay, of course, they had all of the goodies, everything, costing a fortune. And we needed to refrigerate the chowder and the lobster that was left over. So I had to take out the soda and Red Bulls and all that was in there and put it in the drawer because it wasn't a perishable item, so I just put it in the drawer so I could put my other packages in there. Well, when we got ready to check out, and the Holy Spirit said to me, because I started to say, they'll open up these drawers and they'll find, he said, put them back. So I put everything back where it was, or close to where it was. I know I put the Red Bulls where they go, and I'm not sure if the sodas went in the exact same order. So we got down, he got ready, was checking out, and she was saying, and so you had X, Y, and Z out of the refrigerator. It's like, how did she even know we went in? She says there is a computer, sensor that when that refrigerator door is opened, it notifies us. And there's sensors in each one of those little soda can and, whatever's in there, and wine bottles and all that. And so when you move one of them, that sensor goes off and it alerts them and alarms them and let them know. We had no clue of that. We didn't drink it. We were just putting it in the other drawer. I was just putting it in the other drawer. So no, heads up. Don't think you're going in there, they know. Okay, they know. It's kind of creepy that they know too much. Who knows whatever other kind of cameras are in there. But anyway. And so he explained, said, no, we needed to put something in the refrigerator, da-da-da-da. And she said, okay, because the sensors went back on because everything was back in there. That's why she believed them. And so, and know that even if, you know, they're going to charge you if they find out you lied. But they already got this stuff all worked out. They already got. So anyway, they had house shoes for us, you know, a little with the emblem of the hotel on them, darker brown pair for my husband and a cream color pair for me. And I mean, everything you need is at your fingertips, you know, and anything that they don't have in the room or whatever, just call. We're here to make sure that you're staying. It's like, who says that anymore? It was just amazing. It was great. So, the way, you know, because they were just little flimsy house shoes, you know, even though they were comfortable memory foam, you know, but I knew there weren't some, you take kind of money, you're not going to be washing any house shoes. So, but I'm not taking these house shoes unless I ask if they are to be a complimentary to be able to take, you know, with you. So we called down and asked, say, or, you know, she said, oh, yeah, sure, take them there. Yes. So, yeah, for a little souvenir, you know, and they had the emblem on them and everything. And they were actually comfortable. So anyway, we left there, went through Pennsylvania, you know, heading back. Went through a small portion of Connecticut. Trying to think of the rest of stopping, you know, at a couple of the different stations. We met two more people. Fellow van owner, Sprinter owner. I went up and asked her. She was a little hesitant to talk to me at first, but then she warmed, you know, the Holy Spirit just opened up the door where she would talk to me. And I was telling her, I just wanted to ask her some questions about, you know, finishing it out. I hadn't done mine yet, but we brought it anyway. And, you know, so she's sure, you know, after a while, you know, she kind of felt comfortable with me, you know, showing me things, you know, what have you. We talked, took a photograph, and, you know, just got a chance to share Jesus with her. We met another lady, and now these were not all black people. The lady of the van, she was a Black American, but one of the other ladies was, one family was a Puerto Rican family. I was so glad to meet them. And then there was another young lady, she was Puerto Rican as well, her and her family. And my husband had met them inside. She came to the car, sweetest thing, so nice, pretty little lady. And young, you know, she had two younger children, and her husband was still, you know, there. But she came out to talk to me, and we exchanged numbers. And I sent her pictures, and she was we texted each other a little bit while I was traveling. I was sending her a couple of pictures. By the time I was so exhausted, I really didn't doing a lot of driving. I didn't have time to really do a lot of texting, but I texted her a couple of pictures, so I texted her more later, and of places that, you know, we had gone and what have you, and just a blessing to meet such nice, wonderful people. And we waved them off, you know, when they drove off, you know, what have you. The last dance, did you say? We were trying to make it straight in, and I was just exhausted by that time. I'd been driving for 6 days. We ended up sleeping in the car. The rains came, and we were Indianapolis, going through Indiana. And the rains were pouring, and it was just too dangerous to drive anymore. So we pulled off a couple of well-lit stations were truck stations, and, you know, just kind of slept a little, drove a little more, another hour or so, slept a little, drove a little, till we ended up, finally, we just kind of dozed on off and slept through to till morning, daylight, sunrise, and got up and drove on in. Fabulous trip. It really was. Didn't get to do everything I wanted to do. I wanted to go to, we enjoy pastrami sandwiches, and Katz Pastrami in deli in New York was where we were planning on going, and my husband ended up talking me out of going. But I've been driving so much. It was so much, traffic in New York, and so and people would tell us it's a bad neighborhood now. It's not the best neighborhood to be just kind of floating around in, what have you, especially in this what you're driving and so forth and so on. So I decided to just kind of bypass it and save it for another trip. But we got home safe, house was safe, everything was well. Blessed of the Lord. Bless the Lord. So that is kind of like the short of the trip. Met, like I said, gained maybe 3 or 4 new friends. And, God is good. So just trust him and know that he'll work it out. He will work it out if you trust him and you let him and you do what he says. Use his wisdom, follow his ways. Keep your mind stayed on him. Keep him first. All of that. First, you got to accept him in as your only God. And, be born again. And then the benefits come. He said, forget not all your benefits. Okay? So anyway, got back home. Grass was still green here in places. Lusciously green. And trees had leaves on them that were still hadn't blown off or turned. All the trees hadn't even turned yet. And everything is still turning. So we got a chance to at least enjoy the leaves and things here, the color we have here. Even though I missed it, all of the travel that we did, up the East Coast. So, hey, I just wanted to say, don't be afraid. Don't walk in fear. Walk in faith. Walk in victory. Trust God, like I was sharing with one of the other people that I met. Use wisdom, God's wisdom. Use wisdom. Keep safe. Do all the things that you know to do to be safe. But then you trust God. You got to trust him no matter what. What you can't do, he can. And he can do what you can do. Even if you don't do it or are not able to do it, he's there for you. So we're going to wrap this up. Just know your life is still blessed, regardless of what Donald Trump and whatever, racist stuff that comes out and all that they think your God is bigger and greater. Just always know that. Don't be afraid to die and don't be afraid to live and live victorious, because no matter what happens, you win when you're born again. See you next time.